Are we live? We are live. Hello and welcome to the Revolutionaries launch party. We are super excited to have you here today to launch the album. But let's rewind in time. So rewinding in time to 2024.
Alan, I've done the stats. I've crunched the numbers. We've helped 15,000 people this year through Rebel Finance School.
15,000, that's amazing. Where are they from?
Well, they've come from 38 countries, from places as exotic as New Zealand, Australia, Canada, the US, Mexico, Brazil, and all the other countries that I haven't mentioned, but I still love you wherever you are from, across 6 continents.
That's unbelievable. 15,000 people in 2024. But how are we going to reach more people? That's the question I really want to know. How do we help people with their finances? What do we do?
Shall we write a book?
Yeah, we've written a book. It's coming out in June.
What about a blog?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure someone actually wrote a good finance blog once.
Podcast?
Yeah, someone's done a finance podcast, I'm pretty sure.
We could do a course, another course?
I'm pretty sure there is a finance course on money. I don't know, though. Hold on a second. What about if we created a music album? What if we made a music album all about finances? We could talk about bear markets, bull markets, compounding, quitting like a millionaire. What about that?
Now you're talking, but I think we're going to need some help. What about asking Finn? He's been a DJ since he was 13.
Finn,
come and help us.
Oh my God, I've had an idea. We could make a band called the Revolutionaries.
That's an amazing idea. I love it. Let's make a band called the Revolutionaries, create an entire album. Some time passes. We've built an album. It has 21 tracks. It's multi-genre, from pop to rock to hip-hop and barbershop quartet, obviously, entailing your entire journey to financial independence from beginning to end. I am so excited. Shall we play a sample of the songs?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so here you go. Here is a sample of 17 out of the 21 songs in about 4 minutes. Go.
Tuning in to a sneak peek of the Revolutionaries' Money Revolution.
Dreams and creating charts. Together we break every norm. Money talk, no longer we conform.
Like nobody else. Yeah. Come on. Ooh, money taboo. Just wanna be heard. Ooh, money taboo. Talk to me.
Today wants my last dime instead. Earn and invest. You gotta earn and invest. Earn and invest. Earn and invest. Yeah.
So we set it up and it takes fun. Let it go slow, I trust down. Find my wealth and steady rise. Year by year, what you multiply. Oh, investing, buying back my time. Got it all.
Choose FI, choose life, choose FI. Choose FI, choose freedom, yeah, choose FI.
Living life with audacity, reaching early retirement. It's my make the money mustache. Found out right.
Grid like
like a millionaire. No more wasted years, no more wasted years, no more wasted years.
First dollar. I found a crumpled bill down in my pocket.
Ooh, it ain't the boring middle, it's the best part. Ooh, it's time for health and happiness. Ooh, I'm ready for life.
Red helped me to choose if I Rebel Donegans created extraordinary. Quit my job, see ya, no more grind. Hey, sweet freedom, time to be me. What's next? Just breathe, you'll see. There's more to life.
Just wow, so many styles and vibes, such electric energy. The Revolutionaries, Money Revolution, out now.
I love that. Finn, it's amazing. If you want to listen to the album, here's the link where you can stream it for absolutely free on your favorite streaming platform. I now sound like a radio station. You can find it on Spotify, you can find it on Pandora, and many other streaming platforms I have never heard of. So there you
There
go.
was someone there, we were like, oh, we need to keep up with the times of this
We do
streaming
need
stuff.
to
We're gonna
keep up
help
with the
people with some of
times.
these.
Like, who are these? We are so excited to share it all with you. And what an amazing gang we've got here. Ruth the Happy Savers here, Chris, Fireman69, Kerry's here with some pineapples, Aubrey. I have to move around the screen to be able to see who's everyone's here. We are so excited to share the album with you. The idea was that we could teach finance, investing, and money in a completely different way. So we're going to tell you a little bit about it, play you some of the songs. We have some of our friends coming along today. So Christy and Bryce from Millennial Revolution will be dropping in. We'll be playing their track. Brad, hopefully from Choose FI, will drop in later on if he makes it home in time. And we're really looking forward to doing this with you. So if you have questions about the album, what we're doing, comments like Donegan's stay in your lane, you should be running courses, not doing music, why we have a Lego pineapple, please put your questions in the chat because you know we love to talk to you. And let's get going. Finn, when we first started this, like why, like where did this idea come from? How did this even happen?
For me, I always thought about, I love music. I've been a musician and a DJ and since I was 13, and I really learned through music. And I felt like there was books, and people love to learn from books, and people love to learn from podcasts or movies or series, and I felt like no one had really tried to teach this message through music. And I thought, well, why can't we do it in a fun way that gets people excited? And then maybe they get a snippet of it, and then, okay, they want to read a blog or a post, and it guides them to their first inspiration of, this journey.
And I think as we went through this process, I was like, oh, we've got a song about buying back your time, buying freedom first. I'm like, everyone should play buying your freedom first every time they open up Amazon to stop them from making purchases. No, don't buy from Amazon, buy your freedom first. Katie, like when we first did this idea, did you think it was crazy? Like, what was your initial reaction?
I don't think I thought it was crazy. I think I've got so used to your ideas and stuff that you've suggested over the years that this felt quite normal, to be honest. And the thing that I'm excited about is that this music can accompany people as they're figuring out their own money. We've had people that repeat to us that we're in the boring middle, so we wrote them a song. So it can accompany people whilst they're figuring that out. And I like to think it's a tool for indoctrination as well. But if you're trying to introduce your friends, family, partner, kids into starting to think about money as well, maybe if you play this in the background whilst you're in the car or whilst you're cooking dinner or whatever it is, you can start to inspire them to, like, maybe it starts opening the conversation. You can start thinking about it. It's like, what is this song? This is not quite got the normal lyrics that I was expecting. And it can kind of put the door ajar to start talking about this stuff.
Exactly. We've had a few questions in the chat. Lindsay says, are you going to share the compounding song?
Yes.
Yes, we're going to play the compounding song, but the first song we're going to play is the Rebel Finance School song For You, which we're so excited to have the Rebel Finance School song. We may feature our voices very minorly at the end, but the Rebel Finance School song is called Create a Gap, obviously, and we're going to do that first. Marie says, where are you in the world?
We are in Cincinnati. The three of us came here to go to the Economy Conference, which is a financial independence conference. There were 500 people here this weekend, and it was really fun hanging out, making new friends. The tagline of the conference is "Fi is better with friends."
Yes, and it's about the community, which is what we're trying to do on the tour. Fireman in the chat goes, album, book, British Empire medal, tour, keep shaking the pineapple tree, which I love. That's the plan, is the tour of the UK that we're running. If you want to come and hang out with us in random places around the UK, we want to bring together people and the communities so that we can all hang out, talk about money and break the money taboo. That's the plan. Finn, Trisha asks, who wrote the lyrics? All of you? Who wrote this stuff?
It was a true collection. We actually met in Australia, and we spent like 2 days just sitting there together, writing lyrics backwards and forwards. I think we've each written around 7 of them each, but collaboratively together.
Yes. Yeah, and it was so fun. I'd never written songs before. I'm like, is this even possible? Obviously, I've written words on a blog, but never put them together into like some kind of beat.
Yeah, a bit more poetic, isn't it, when you do lyrics? It's more like a poem, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the internet is very useful for coming up with rhyming words, because index investing is not that easy. The 4% rule.
It's like trying to rhyme with the word orange, isn't it?
Yeah.
We did indeed write a song on the 4% rule for you. We're very excited about that. So should we go straight into Create a Gap?
I think so.
So let's go straight into the song for the Rebel Finance School, which is called Create a Gap. We're going to share the lyrics with you afterwards. I'd love you to listen out. Tell us what your favorite line is, what it makes you think. And we created this because we think the foundations of all good finances is creating a gap between your income and expenditure. Katie, keep talking whilst I get it up.
So actually what started inspiring the lyrics for this one is if you've done Rebel Finance School, you know that there is a graduation ceremony, and the ideas and the things that we talk about in that ceremony, I wanted to encapsulate in what we had for the lyrics for this, so that it's kind of an anthem if you're just getting into the course, or if you've done the course, to be able to remember those key points that you learn from doing Rebel Finance School.
So here is Create a Gap by the Revolutionaries. Not dancing on that home.
Down, over time it grows, grows, grows.
Why did the pineapple start investing?
To make some sweet returns.
So there you go. There is the song for Create a Gap, which is meant to be the theme tune of Rebel Finance School, all about creating a gap between your income and your expenses. Rock Bottom says it's a fantastic song. Jack gave us a heart face. We are super excited, and we created the lyrics to try and inspire people to create that gap, invest your money, and then over time, it grows. That's the plan.
Kerry asks, is that my singing voice? No, unfortunately not. Actually, none of us are performing directly on the album other than that short little snippet at the end. We hired professional singers, professional musicians to help us. Although maybe on the next album we'll perform.
Maybe on the next album.
think,
I need a
Finn?
lot of singing lessons.
You up for singing on the next album, Finn?
I'm working on it. I'm taking singing lessons. So we'll see. We'll see what my singing instructor says.
Gareth and Naomi, hello. They say Katie wins the lip sync battle so far. She knows most of the words to most of the songs backwards. She has an incredible memory.
Growing up, when I first got into listening to music, which my brother would sit me down and be like, Katie, this is cool music and this is not cool music. And I wanted to be just like him. So I don't know, it was trendy and cool to learn all the lyrics to songs. And I think because I was so into the music when I was growing up, whatever I was listening to, I found it quite easy to recall and remember the words. And I mean, I played certain albums on repeat. I don't know, did you guys do that?
We have played this album on repeat.
Were there albums you played as a kid on repeat and you kind of knew all the words
Yeah, totally.
off by heart by the end?
Yeah, mainly it was Find Me Somebody to Love. That was the song I played.
And how did that work out for you?
Eventually, the universe delivered. So we had a name from Kerry. Kerry says, love the name of the band. Who came up with the name of the band? Finn.
I think it was you.
Was it?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
We sat down and we threw loads of different names into the hat.
Some of them were terrible.
Yeah. And I think we definitely wanted Rebel in there. I think that was after a while of discussing.
Exactly. Fireman says, are there any more bonus tracks such as Sheeps versus Robots or the FU Money track?
I like the idea of sheep and robots. Is that something I should have heard of already, or is that the idea more like sheeps? A lot of us follow what everyone else are doing, and robots, like you're just all going through life. I was about to do the robot dance, then no one wants to be subjected to that.
Harriet looked excited for a moment.
There was a mild glimmer of excitement.
Ruth the Happy Saver says, I've already learnt most of the lyrics to Katie, so we are on for karaoke.
I think that means that Ruth's been listening on repeat as well. We've had numerous messages from Ruth saying how much she and Johnny have both enjoyed the album. So thank you, Ruth, for that. It really makes us feel nice and inspires us to create more and put more out there.
And we do have the tracks as just instrumental versions. So at some stage, maybe we'll throw a karaoke party on the tour. Marie will be singing Create a Gap. Harriet will be doing Compounding in barbershop quartet style. Colin, with his accent, will have no idea what he's saying, but will enjoy it massively.
Perhaps the melody will reveal which song it is.
Love you, Colin. We're having so much fun with this, and really is the idea that you can play these songs, like sing along, get the words in your head and start to think about investing, saving and making your money grow. Shall we share the compounding song?
100%. I'm ready.
This is
Finn's
the one,
ready.
when we talk about the album being multi-genre and 21 tracks and nearly 21 different genres, the one that we kind of pull out of the bag and say we're most excited about is, oh, and barbershop quartet, because that's what the compounding song is. And the guy that we got to sing it that did all of the 4 different parts, I think did such a fabulous job with it.
Yeah, so we wrote the lyrics and then we hired session singers, session musicians to play them. And this one singer did all 4 parts of the barbershop quartet. And then Finn, with his mixing and mastering digital wizardry, pulled it all together into one track for us. So I'm so excited to share with you the compounding song. I would love to know which line hits you, what you think of the song, we really truly want to know what you think of these songs and the words that we have. Katie, keep talking whilst I get the song up.
The power of compounding is very exciting, isn't it? Because, you know, you start with one test it and suddenly you have more pineapples, and your pineapples have babies and their babies have babies, and before you know it, you have compounded your way to wealth. And the pineapple, of course, is a symbol of wealth.
Is this
and
all
prosperity.
could this be like sweet returns?
Oh, why did the pineapple start investing?
Yeah, because to get sweet returns.
Sweet returns. And on that note, I'm going to save us all from our terrible jokes and press play on compounding. Enjoy the track.
In a world of spending, I'm here to say there's a secret to riches I'll share today. It's not about income, but how much you save. Compound interest is the game we'll play. Oh yeah, compound, watch the market grow. Compounding, it's the way to go. Save, 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 yes, save your dough. Save your dough, save your dough. Invest your money and watch it grow, watch it grow. Compound interest is the key, oh, to a future of financial security. Yeah. Start early, my friend, and don't delay. Small amounts can go a long way. Let it grow and watch your wealth accrue. Retire at 40, it's all up to you. All up to you. Compound, watch the market grow. Compounding, it's the way to go. Save, 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 yes, save your dough. Save your dough, save your dough. Invest your money and watch it grow, watch it grow. Compound interest is the key, oh, to a future of financial security. Yeah. Save, 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 yes, save your dough. Save your dough, save your dough. Invest your money and watch it grow, watch it grow. Compound interest is the key, oh, to a future of financial security.
Got to do some jazz hands at the end, haven't you?
Jazz hands.
What do you think? Tell us what you think. We want to know. Please put some messages in the chat. Tell us your thoughts.
Kerry says very Jungle Book.
Very
Which I can feel those vibes when she said that.
yeah.
Yeah. I can see what you're going with that, Kerry, definitely.
So the song's chorus: save, save, save your dough. Invest your money and watch it grow. Compound interest is the key to a future of financial security. That's the whole thing. That's everything we talk about at Rebel Finance School, is creating the gap, investing the money, and letting compound take your way to wealth. That's the plan.
Lindsay.
I feel tune from my childhood. Does anyone else remember Chop That? It's kind of fascinating with compounding. What we've realized is compounding is very confusing at the beginning of your journey because it feels like nothing happens. And then compounding is very confusing when you're at the end of the journey because you're like, I don't understand, how did it happen so quickly? And this confusion, the human brain just can't comprehend compounding. And we've had those instances where we're like, how did this happen? We're actually doing a talk at Economy this weekend. We went traveling in 2019. My desire was to write a movie. That's what I wanted to do. We took 2 months off work. We spent more money than we had ever spent before.
It was pricey.
It was
You
crazy.
should see how much a breakfast burrito was. It was outrageous.
Yeah, I'm LA, we don't like your prices. We actually used to think of like we are financially independent in terms of location. Like we're Thailand Phi, we're Vietnam Phi, but we're not LA Phi, and I don't think we're New York Phi. But actually interesting now, our money has grown so much. It's grown up.
I don't know.
Our money has grown up. It's grown massively, and now we are LA Fi, we are New York Fi. That's the power of compounding. I guess the story that I was telling of going to LA for those 2 months was when we got back from LA, having spent more money than we'd ever spent, our net worth was higher than when we left.
And we were scratching our heads and we were like, how is this possible? And then we thought, oh, maybe this financial independence thing actually works. And it was kind of that tangible example, wasn't it, of, oh, this is the thing. And sometimes you kind of have to experience it to believe it as well, don't you?
I guess you were both totally expecting to come back with less, right?
I was expecting to come back with less. Yeah. And it was the complete opposite, which is the confusing nature of this stuff. Marta in the chat says, where can we get the lyrics? Marta, that is a great question. We are planning on writing an article for each song, explaining the concept. Like, we'll explain compound interest, compounding. We'll have the lyrics. We'll have the song embedded. We haven't done that yet. We kind of had a few things on. No excuses. We'll get to it. But maybe we should also create a page with the lyrics on for people as well, so they can find the songs.
We're trying to figure out how to get the lyrics added to Spotify as well.
We are still working. We are working on adding them all to Spotify and Apple Music, and that just takes a little bit of time getting into their systems and adding them.
Yes.
I love having the lyrics though when I have songs that I'm listening to on Spotify or wherever, because it's really cool to be able to. Sometimes you can't quite hear what someone's singing, can you? And you really want to get the message. So I love the idea. Yeah, we'll definitely work on getting the lyrics where you can find them.
Exactly.
I've had some nice comments about my t-shirt.
You have. Katie's got one of the only revolutionary t-shirts in the world. Finn has a revolutionary hoodie, and I've sweated in both of mine. So I'm wearing a t-shirt I bought in Mexico. Yeah, it's got all the names of the songs on it. So there you go. We made ourselves a couple of t-shirts for the conference. So Marta, the lyrics will be coming. Fireman has written his own pineapple joke. He says, why did the pineapple cross the road? Answer, because he was sick of high fees.
Get away from those high fee people.
I love this. Any more pineapple related finance jokes, please put them in there. It's awesome.
And the lyrics are on Apple Music. That's awesome.
She uses Apple Music and the lyrics just show up. I love that. Okay, thanks, Ruth. I didn't realize that.
So if you're listening on Apple Music, you can just see the lyrics, which is awesome. Better Me says, love the t-shirt, love the hoodie. So do we. Chris says, I love the compounding song, a great swing beat to it.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? And it's part of what we wanted to do with the album was to make it feel uplifting and something that, as you know, at Rebel Finance School and us as the Donegans are very much positive. Let's do this. And we wanted the music to reflect that as well. And there are, as you listen to the whole album, it does take you through a journey though, doesn't it? It's not all as kind of
there are some slower, more R&B songs, or some soul songs, or just acoustic guitar, but they're still upbeat and positive and happy, because wherever you are on that journey, it's the best part of learning new things and progressing in your FI journey.
Chris Monk says Helen wants a t-shirt. Is that possible, Finn?
Well, we're working on it.
That's our answer to everything. Lyrics working on it.
Yeah.
There's a few things we're figuring out. It's the first time we've launched an album, but we're thinking of getting a store up, aren't we, where people can buy the t-shirts.
Yeah, Lindsay says t-shirts would be very cool. Yes, obviously we would prefer you to invest the money in an index fund. That is clear. Invest first, always. Colin says, thought one more year, no, is something several people fall foul of not taking the next step. We wondered, if you've listened to One More Year, no, do you know who the singer was?
Well, should we play that one?
Shall we play that song? Maybe you can recognize the singer. I want your guesses in the chat for this. So we're playing One More Year, no. Please tell us who you think the singer is.
Should I work just one more year? Another day just like the past, counting down but moving fast. Time tick-tocking on its own, afraid to live a life unknown. Held back by now in fear and doubt, clock Clocking in and clocking out. Nest egg never seems enough. Golden years look kinda rough. Should I work just one more year? No, 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 no. No more wasted years. Life's too short to live in fear.
Not me.
One more year will keep me safe. Just one more year, I'll be okay. Done the sums 1,000 times. Got plans A, B, C through to Z. Should I work just one more year? No, 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 no. No more wasted years. Life's too short to live in fear. Should I work just one more year?
Next time you're at work, play this to your boss.
Yeah, should I work just one more year? No, 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 no. No more wasted years. Life's too short to live in fear. Doubts keep swelling in your head. Scared to jump, what if I fall? Staying put, avoiding pain. Blend in, take the easy way. Life's too short to live in doubt. Take the leap, let joy come out. Find new passions, be unleashed. Live a life that's truly lived. Should I? No, 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 no. No more wasted years. Life's too short to live in fear. No more wasted years. No more wasted years. No more wasted years. No more wasted years. Life's too short to live in fear.
There you go. That is the song One More Year, which is a big thing in lots of the financial independence world. The general concept is lots of people work too long because they don't believe in the power of compounding and investing. So they stay at work trying to earn more money and giving up some of the best years of their life, as opposed to getting on with what they really should be doing, which is whatever they're into.
They think they don't have enough money, they're scared, and it's understandable. It can be a big leap to stop working and start living off the portfolio that you've built. But it's such a common thing that people talk about in the financial independence world that, again, it was one of the things that we really felt we wanted to address and give people an anthem to. Like, if you know that you're caught in this trap, something to have to like inspire you to take that leap and take the next step.
Exactly. Fireman says, is that Brandon Flowers singing?
Oh,
Finn, is that Brandon Flowers?
No, it's not.
It's
No,
not.
close.
Ruth the Happy Saver says, is it Mr. Money Mustache singing?
Oh, I wish it was, but no, it's not.
It's not. And then a few people guessed. Gareth, Naomi, Harriet, all said, is it Simon? Yes, that is Simon Payne, my business partner who runs Rebel Finance School with Henry, Rebel Business School. That is him singing. He had a record deal. He used to have a band. He's actually really cool. I never knew it.
He's also on one more song on here as well. So if you can guess which other song he's on, I like 10 out of 10.
I thought you were going to offer some kind of prize there, Finn. I'm just like, oh no, give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah, it's called the FI prize.
Yeah.
When you're done well, just pat on the back.
When I was a kid, my cousins who were a lot older than me, I was kind of annoying them because, you know, I was a lot younger, and they would offer me a prize. It'd be like, if you run around the garden 5 times, I'll give you a prize. And I'd go and I'd run around the garden and I'd come to them. I'd ask for my prize. And do you know what the prize was every time?
A hug?
The prize was a grotty handshake. I got a grotty handshake. Maybe that could be the prize.
What's a grotty handshake versus a normal handshake?
Hammy palm. Maybe they haven't washed their hands in a couple of days.
Oh.
So
Anyway, it was a nice little anecdote for you there from my childhood.
So going back to the one more year piece, I think for me, there's a second meaning. And the second meaning for me is whatever it is that you've been putting off, writing a book, leaving your job, going traveling, whatever it is you've been putting off, don't put it off, take the leap and do it. And I've had an interesting month. On Facebook, I found out a couple of people I grew up with had died. And I'm like, they're too young. Like they were younger than me. They had died, and there's posts of their memorial service and all of those different things. And I'm thinking, you just don't know how long you've got. You just don't know. So you have to make it happen, whatever it is. Derek says the song has already inspired one person to quit work, which is awesome. But that's kind of what we're trying to say to everyone, including you listening now, is get on with it. What is it you've been putting off that you need to do? Michael, what have you been putting off? Gail, what do you need to do? Tell us. We'd love to know in a chat. What is it that you want to do next?
That line inspired me as well. It's life's too short to live in fear. And as you said, that can apply to so many things, can't it? And that's what stops us from doing those things that we are passionate about and that we want to do. So yeah, I really like
is that line what inspired you? From one of the other comments was, is there any more bonus songs coming? And did that inspire you on one of the future bonus songs to come?
Yeah, so one of the songs is, should we say, am I allowed to say what it's called?
It's your song.
I think, is it called I Am Courage? I can't remember. It's called I Am Courage, which is about sort of embodying and feeling that courage, because so often I've found that fear has stopped me from doing things, and I didn't want that to happen anymore, and I wanted to inspire other people so that that didn't happen anymore too. So yeah, we have some bonus tracks that we are going to release at some point, don't we?
We do. We have 3 bonus tracks which will come out at some point. I'm super excited about sharing those with you. But before we do that, we have had 2 people pop up on the screen. They've just appeared live now. Please help me welcome Christy and Bryce, also known as Millennial Revolution.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
can you hear us okay?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly. Can everyone else hear Christy and Bryce?
Hey.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello from Vancouver. It's a very
So why are
international
you
call.
in Vancouver?
I thought you were going to say, why have you dialed into this call? I think it's
Yeah, no, we know why
exciting.
they're here. We know why they're here. No one else does. It's like, who are these people? Why are they here? They are they are Canada's earliest retirees and some of our best friends in the world, Christy and Bryce.
Hello.
We actually wrote a song about them, for them, inspired by them as well.
It was very flattering. Thank you for that.
You know you've made it when someone writes a song about you.
Yes, yes, and we're gonna get into the song. You're gonna play it some in a bit, right? So because this is Alan, and because this and he just loves Marvel, he insisted on putting like an Easter egg at the end of the songs. So everybody try to spot what that is.
So when you were coming up with your book, you wrote the book Quit Like a Millionaire. Where did the title come from? What were you thinking about? Like, how did you ever come up with that?
Yeah, it actually came from our background of writing fiction. We realized from 7 years of being in the writing trenches, trying to write a children's novel, that the best titles are the ones that juxtaposed each other. Our first children's book was Staying Dead. So there's like 2 words that don't really quite belong together. And then our second one was called Little Miss Evil. So it has that like little kid innocence, but then she's also studying to be a supervillain. And then so Quit Like a Millionaire was
Christy and Bryce. Little Miss Evil, was that written about you?
People ask that all the time. Is that an autobiography? I'm like, kind of.
Partially, yeah. So yeah, we wanted to create a juxtaposition in the title, because when you have a juxtaposition in the title, you ask, it causes the reader to go, oh, how does that work, or what is that? And then that's kind of where it came from. So yeah, and then it ended up turning into like, and plus it ended up being like, it kind of tells you like how like what the book is going to teach you how to do. So it was quite nice in that way because it teaches you how to quit like a millionaire.
And we want it to be like a millionaire, not that you have to be a millionaire, but you can have that attitude and that vibe that a millionaire does, that you don't have to think about working ever again.
Yeah.
If you choose, unless you choose to.
They're quite smart, aren't they?
Well, yeah, I'd never made that
Yeah.
association with the word like, that you can quit like a millionaire. You don't have to be a millionaire. And
yeah.
actually, you can buy your freedom with a lot less money than that.
Because I think people probably have this strange thing that they think, well, I could never be a millionaire, right? Is that part of it, that it makes it more accessible to people?
Yeah, that was me. I was one of those people. I was like, because the kind of background that I had as a child, like $1 million was infinite amount of money. It's just, my mind could not comprehend it. It really was like, is there food in the cupboard? Is there not food in the cupboard? That's the only concept that I understood. So becoming a millionaire, yes, completely understand, and trying to reach as many people as possible so that they can see that you don't have to be a millionaire in order to buy your freedom.
Well, and when you do the readers' cases, and when you go through those, there are many different numbers about what people can quit at, and they can live their best life. They can live the idea of living like a millionaire, but living free and being able to do their things. That's right.
Yeah, it really depends on the actual most important number in your finances is how much you spend, because that determines how much money you need to save. And sometimes people write into us where they are, living in a small town like in the middle of like rural Ontario, or in like Virginia or someplace like that. And it's the cost, and because of that, the cost of living is really quite cheap. They weren't earning like a New York salary. They were finding that they could retire on a lot less because their cost of their living was so low. And then when you open up and then that's also when we realize that when you open up the possibilities of earning in one location and then retiring in another, you can really kind of like supercharge your journey to fire in that way. So for example, earning a New York salary and then retiring in like Portugal or something like that, like that like all of a sudden that becomes very, very much more attainable than trying to like retire in downtown Manhattan, which is very, very expensive.
So, Christy, where did you grow up? And was it really you didn't have money for food? Like, I can't imagine that in Canada.
Yeah, so we are actually very privileged living in Canada as Canadians, because when I was a kid, at one point my family was living on 44 cents a day. So we grew up in this small village in southern China, and it wasn't to the point, like my parents actually struggled with famine and actually not having enough to eat. So I actually did have enough to eat, even though the water wasn't clean. I developed stomach worms at one point, and it wasn't like the food wasn't very nutritious, but I was never starving. So even that, it gave me the perspective that it could always be worse. Like you're looking from Canada or the States and you're looking at China, you're like, that's pretty bad. Then my parents are looking at my life and they're like, you were living the dream compared to us because you didn't have to deal with a famine. So everything is all relative. And one of the things that I did realize was it really is about how you think, because growing up in China, even though I didn't have very much money, but all the other village children also didn't have enough money. So it wasn't like this competitive experience that I had in Toronto when everybody was trying to buy a house. And even if you were earning an engineering salary, that's not good enough, because at least like the doctor next to you is making double what you're making, so then they can buy a house. And then the doctor's looking at the entrepreneur earning like millions of dollars a year and saying, I'm not at their level. But then meanwhile, when I had 44 cents a day, all the other kids also had 44 cents a day. So we would just play with sticks that we found drying in the mud, or we would just like find these elastic bands and make skipping ropes, and we would play together. And it was actually a great time. Like I don't actually remember, even though there was a lot of bad times as well, I do remember a lot of flashes of like happiness with playing with the other children. And we did not, like, I didn't know what a Nintendo DS was. I didn't know what any of those toys, I didn't know they existed. If somebody had shown me a Nintendo DS, I would have no idea what to do with it, because it's just beyond our wildest imagination. But it really is the perspective of like what you have, like be happy with what you have and realizing that it could be so much worse.
So now that you are a millionaire, has that sunk in? And what do you think 8-year-old Christy would think about that?
I would probably have hated myself and be like, you're one of those rich people I hate. So
Let's overthrow the proletariat or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So
You can-
I think growing up with not understanding that money is a tool, and that's something that I understand now, and having that partnership with Bryce, because Bryce had a more normal upbringing and more like understand. Yeah, middle class.
Normal is a relative term, and it changes depending on who you're talking to.
But it's
Everyone
like
thinks
middle class. Yeah, exactly. So he understood money better than me. He understood that you needed to invest and not just like hoard every penny, like your life depends on it. So having gained that perspective, I now being a millionaire, it's not like when I was a child where it's like, oh, these rich people, like, oh, I can't believe these rich people have everything and I don't have anything, and having that mindset. It's more like money is a tool, and being able to get to that step is just one step at a time. And it took a decade in order to get there. But now I look back, now I understand how money works, versus when I was a kid, it was all emotional and just like, I'll never be there. And, you know, those people are probably evil, or I don't quite understand money, and money is the root of evil and all that stuff. So I really changed my perspective that it's a tool and it should not have that kind of emotional connotation connected to it.
And it really is interesting seeing how like realize getting to this level of wealth, and then seeing now the people that are around us that also have a similar level of wealth, they can also be unhappy too. It really depends on who, it really depends on who you're comparing to. Right now, Finn, like you can back me up on this one. We're in Vancouver. There's a lot of people around me that are just saying, oh, only $1 million. I can't afford anything with that. And it's like, fuck off, right? It's like, you're doing just fine. So the biggest, I think, realization of the FIRE movement is defining where your enough point is, and in which you go, okay, this is enough money to sustainably pay for a comfort, like a certain quality of life forever, and everything above that is bonus. It's almost kind of like a Buddhist way of looking at money versus a purely capitalist way of looking at money, which is more money is always better. Like I want more money, $1 million. I need 10 million. If you have 10 million, you need 100. And if you need 100, you need a billion. Then you become Elon Musk, and nobody wants that. And but for Buddhism, it's kind of like trying to. It's like Buddhism is all about kind of like changing your expectations of what you need to be happy, so that you can be happy with like almost nothing. So FIRE is kind of like taking that message and turning it into like a financial message as well, which is defining your like happy point where you go, this is enough, and then this is enough to be happy forever, and everything above that is bonus. You don't have to be literally like living like a monk. You can be, living at whatever comfort level that you have to be. But it also does put us. But the big value add is like defining an enough point where you can stop accumulating, and then hoping that happiness comes from the next X number of like the next paycheck that you think you're going to get. Because the reality is, if you keep doing that, it just goes up into infinity, and you always just want more all the time.
The treadmill you can never get off.
Exactly. That really is the bug in capitalism, right? I mean, like more money is always better, but it does not define an endpoint for like, okay, this is enough, you can stop now. Like capitalism always tells you, yes, but if you have one Ferrari, you could always get more Ferraris.
I love how you relate it back to software by saying there's a bug in the idea.
So we had a comment in from Marta that said, "Quit Like a Millionaire, probably the most impactful book I've ever read. The effect is long lasting. 5 years ago, and it still keeps affecting me."
Really? Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. That really makes us that really gives us a great deal of joy, because like as a writer, like you want to impact as many people as possible. And the fact that book has had, like, we thought it would be like one of these books that would, sell a lot of stuff into the FIRE space and then kind of like drop off, and then people will forget about it. But it is like, even like she said, even like years afterwards, people are still coming up to us and being like, it's still continuing to change our life. It's really a humbling experience. So thank you for saying that.
I love that. So Chris,
play the music.
Well, I was going to one more question.
Okay, go on.
One more question. Jack says enough is as good as a feast, which, yeah, enough is enough. We love that concept. My question is, Christy mentioned the rules of the money game and how you didn't know them when you grew up. If you, Christy and Bryce, could like summarize the rules of the money game for everyone, like how would you give a quick these are the rules of money that you should be taught to everyone.
Basically, spend less than you earn, avoid debt, and then invest, invest, invest.
Yeah, passive income, like passive income is the key to happiness, because when you can when your money is just making more money and then it's creating this passive income while you sleep, that's where freedom comes from. And at the end of the day, your money is just like slips of paper or digits on a bank account. It only has value when you exchange it for something. If you exchange it for stuff, once the stuff is used up, it's gone. If you exchange it for debt, you need more money to pay for that debt. But if you exchange it for freedom, that's where true happiness comes from.
I love that. So tell me specifically, how do I buy freedom? Is there a freedom shop? Do I get it at the local Asda, Morrison's, Sainsbury's? Do they have freedom on the shelf?
Other supermarket brands are available.
I don't think Waitrose sells freedom. I think they suck freedom up.
They might. It's a pretty upscale place.
I think freedom means different things to different people, but I think the best thing that it gives you is options. So because our portfolio is generating enough passive income that actually pays for all our bills, and we didn't have to work during the pandemic, one of the biggest advantages it gave us is being able to take care of Bryce's father.
Yeah.
So I think this was the poignant moment in which we realized the entire point of freedom and having choices. You want to tell the story about your dad?
Yeah. So at the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, we learned that COVID was going across the globe, and at the same time, I also found out that my dad was diagnosed with brain cancer. So we had to cut off our travels. I think we were in Indonesia at the time, and come back to Canada while all the flights were shutting down, and lock ourselves in our house, and at the same time try to manage my dad's care, and also try not to kill him from COVID, because he was now because he was on all these suppressing drugs that even a small infection can really have devastating consequences. And what I realized from that is, because I didn't need to work, I had the time and the mental bandwidth to kind of move back home and take care of him with my mom and my sisters. We basically started running these near the end, we were running 20 shifts so that somebody could be with him at all times, and make sure that he was okay, he could go to the bathroom okay, and we needed to get out of bed, that someone was always with him so he didn't hurt himself. So the fact that I was able to do that and be there for my mom, and continue to be there for my mom dealing with the aftermath after he passed, really was the most valuable thing that I got out of freedom. All that traveling for 10 years before that was pretty awesome, I got to admit. But when I was able to be there for my dad, that's when I really realized the value of being free, that you can be there for somebody else if you need to be, if you need to.
That is a phenomenal story. And if there isn't a better reason to work on your finances than to buy the time to look after the people you love.
Yep.
I don't know what there is. That is incredible.
Spending time with the people that you love is really the best use of our time on earth here. That experience with my dad made me realize, as Alan, you alluded to in your previous story, that none of us know how much time we have on this planet, right? It could happen at any point. It could, my dad, brain cancer does not have any risk factors or a genetic component, or at least the type that he had. It really is just random. So it could hit anybody at any point. And it had nothing to do with diet and nothing to do with genetics. My dad was the healthiest guy ever before this, when he got diagnosed. So that kind of made me realize, hey, it could happen to any of us. And do we want? And if you can do whatever it takes to spend more of your time now, spending it with the people that you love now, rather than say working on a job trying to pay off a debt, it's a much better use of your time than anything else.
I love that. And on that note, I feel like we should play your song. Just so everyone knows, there are two versions of Christian Bryce's song. There is a clean version and an explicit version. As you've already heard, Bryce likes to use explicit language when explaining just about anything.
And despite being a dad too, so he's clearly father of the year.
Yep. And I think we're the only track that has an explicit and clean version. So
it
take
is
that, Doc G.
We actually had to release your explicit version as a separate track, because if we put the explicit version in the album, we had to mark the entire album as explicit lyrics. So we have a clean version on the album, and your actual track comes out on Monday with the non-explicit lines.
Today.
We've actually been.
Oh, it's today. It's out now.
Yeah.
Today's
out
Monday.
today. Yeah, it's out today.
Okay,
Woohoo!
funny, I had over 100 plays already when I logged on this morning.
Hey, cool.
Do it all, Bryce.
We've actually been playing the explicit one because our son is too young to understand anything right now, but we're probably gonna have to switch to the clean one
Fine.
once he can speak.
That's fine.
So we're going to play the radio edit right now. Please guess in the chat which line you think is made explicit in the full version. And if you have questions for Christy and Bryce, once we've played the track, please put your questions in the chat so that we can see them and we can ask Christy and Bryce afterwards. So here is Quit Like a Millionaire, the clean version.
Quit like a millionaire. Quit. They tell you to grind, get a 9 to 5, buy a house, invest, stay alive. Boomer advice stuck on repeat, but times have changed, they're obsolete. They say get a job, work to the ground, buy property, climb that financial height. We map that stuff up, numbers don't lie. Retire early and wave goodbye. Quit like a millionaire. Map that stuff up. Quit like a millionaire. We love geo-arbitrage, yeah.
Not many top songs say geo-arbitrage.
Oh, there is now.
Optimize your life, count the cost. Is that degree worth it or is it lost? Chasing jobs for the sake of wealth. Find your path, invest in yourself. Financial freedom, retire young. Not by tradition, but by the math, son. No mortgage holding you down, because you map that stuff up. Yeah, quit like a millionaire. Map that stuff up. Quit like a millionaire. We love geo-arbitrage, yeah. Quit like a millionaire. Map that stuff up. Quit like a millionaire. We love geo-arbitrage, yeah.
Why doesn't everyone do this?
Maybe it's because we didn't have a theme song.
Well, we do now.
No more excuses, people.
No more excuses.
Okay, audio's back on now. Man, that is so cool. You know, you made it when somebody writes a song about you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I have to say, you You guys are so, I am blown away by the quality of this album. I know I've heard like multiple versions of this thing, but the fact that every song has like a completely different style that sounds like, that is just like, you guys have this musical range that I was not expecting, and it's so awesome.
Thank you, Bryce.
So we've had some guesses come in as to what the swear word should have been. Please don't say the actual swear word, but we've had some guesses. Gail says, is it quit like an F millionaire? Marie says, is it math that F up? I've set you up to fail there because I'm like, say something that's swearing without swearing, please.
Yes, I think that's actually impossible for Bryce.
Oh yeah, definitely impossible.
If I knew how to do that, I would. I don't know.
So please put your questions for Christy and Bryce in the chat. We would love ask some questions about the music, what they're doing, finances, all of that stuff up. But Christy and Bryce, please reveal the actual line that is explicit, and maybe
without being explicit.
maybe Christy could just bleep out Bryce.
Okay, then maybe you should just say
requires some very good choreographing coordination.
Yeah. Derek says, does it rhyme with the word pit?
Yes.
Yes.
Math
so
that
yeah, the line is
math that
up. Yeah.
Which we love your focus on the maths, because I think that's the bit that most people don't understand is the maths. But the maths is what really guides us. So where did that expression math that stuff up? Where did that come from? What's your focus on maths and mathematics, or math if you're American? Like, where did this come from?
Yeah, it came from, so when we started the blog, it came from this anger of people constantly telling us that buying a house is the only way to live. And if you don't buy a house, it's going to ruin you financially. And if renting is for losers and all this. And having grown up in rentals for most of my life, and I have a son now, and we're still having him grow up in rentals. I just wanted to get rid of that stigma of you have to buy a house and people who are homeowners are winners and renters are losers. And so one of the things we started talking about on the blog, the first thing is do the math. Like, it's not about feelings. I get that you have all this emotional attachment to your home, but also don't just do it for feelings. Make sure you do the math first. And then, so that line came about as always math that in order to figure out whether it makes sense to rent or own before you jump into a bad situation.
Yeah, the really interesting thing about this whole fire stuff is, I mean, we were engineers before this, so we did a lot of maths in university/college. But the thing is, the financial math is actually not that, it's not complicated at all. There's no like differential equations, there's no integration, there's none of this like stuff that actually requires a university level education to do. Everything that we talk about on the blog is like high school level math. It's basically just basically multiplication, division.
I would say grade school level, not, yeah, it's just very basic math. You don't really
and percentages. Like none of it's actually like anybody that's graduated from high school should be able to do all the stuff that we're doing. And it is really just amazing that people don't understand, like people who are in sometimes in very technical fields, like doctors, lawyers, engineers, like other engineers and this kind of stuff, can be very, very good at their job that requires a lot of math. But when it comes to money, they just don't realize how simple the math is. And then they just think, oh, I don't understand this stuff. I'm not good with money. That's something that that's a misconception that I keep that we always have to keep fighting against. Nobody's born good with money, and there's no school of money. I guess there's a school of finance, but there's no, like, you're not taught how to.
There's a rebel finance school.
Yeah, sure. But even those guys aren't good with money. Some of the worst people with money were people that worked at banks, which is the strangest thing ever. But understanding just a few formulas can change your life completely, and it becomes this guiding light and helps you make every decision, which is just kind of say, take option A, take option B, and then figure out which one's less expensive. And it's not like, that's why we keep telling people to math that stuff up. It's really not that hard. And what we try to do on the blog with these case studies is we keep demonstrating how to do it over and over and over and over again, so people know how to apply that to their situation. And it really is not that difficult. Really, a lot of it is adding all your expense up and multiplying it by 25, but it still eludes a lot of, it's not obvious to a lot of people outside of the fire space. So that's kind of our passion project with this whole blog, which is educating people about how the relatively simple math works and how you can use it to basically change your life.
I love that. And I think that's why we've connected so much on this stuff. Question coming in from Gail. How did you cope with the bit where the journey started, but it seems like such a long way off? Like the goal is so far away.
It seems very far. Yes. So one of the things that's really helpful is to not do it alone. So there's three things. One of them is not doing it alone. So definitely join the Rebel Finance group Facebook. You're probably already part of that. Try to find even just one person, your fire buddy, to get through this with you, so that you keep each other accountable. So that when it seems like it's boring and it's really far away, you have that person to energize you when you're struggling. The second one is to try to focus on the process. I notice a lot of people look at the endpoint and they're like, oh my God, if I get to FI, all my problems are going to be solved and I need to get to that endpoint. But as Katie has said multiple times, like after she got to FI, it's not just rainbows and unicorns and butterflies everywhere. You still have to figure out your problems. You just have a tool of time and the ability to not have to worry about your bills, to try to figure out what your problems are and to discover new things. And then the third one is listen to the soundtrack, because I found when I was working, one of my biggest struggles was finding energetic songs to keep me motivated at work. And we all know that music makes time pass a lot faster. It's a huge difference. So listen to the fire track, try to use that to make the time pass faster and use that to energize you. So I would say try to focus on those three things instead of just constantly thinking about like my FI number, if I could only get to my FI number. It really is a journey, and you will be a better person for it at the end of it, because it changes you as you go through this journey.
I love that. Gail
No
replied saying that her bubble has been burst. No unicorns? Question.
Okay, maybe one unicorn.
Yeah, maybe one.
I'll find a horse and strap a horn to its forehead. That I don't know if
Maybe a pineapple.
Let's move on quickly.
I shouldn't have said that. No horses were harmed in the making of this music video.
Yes.
Spider-Man says more studio air guitar, please. So he loved the air guitar in the last track. Ruth had a very important question.
Well, first of all, she said hello, and then she said, "Is there another book in the works, Christy and Bryce?"
Oh,
great question.
That's a great question.
Yes,
there
is actually a book in the works, and we're working with our publisher. We are working with our editor right now to smooth it out so that it'll be. We just submitted a first draft, so we're working with our editor to figure out what we need to do to make it better.
Are you allowed to tell us the theme?
Are we allowed to tell about the theme?
Let's just.
I think so. It could change, because it could change as time goes on.
Yeah. But it is a sequel to Quit Like a Millionaire. It's going to. I think it's slated to come out sometime next year, and we will keep everyone. Stay tuned to our blog for exciting announcements.
Yes, and please come on Rebel Finance School again this year and tell us all about what's going on. We would love that.
Yay! I'll take any excuse to hang out with you guys.
Gareth and Naomi from Wales say, how are you finding parenthood and nomadic living? Like, how do those things work together? Do they work together?
It does. Traveling with an infant is definitely more challenging.
Very different.
I've never known so much about breast pumps before this entire experience, but they're not incompatible, but it does change. Before we were nomadic, we would literally just have our two backpacks, and then we'd be like switching Airbnbs or hotels like every week, and then we'd be traveling to different cities in Europe like every week or 2 weeks. And with Little Matchstick, we have to kind of slow down because there's more gear and there's more complications that involve that. Alan and Katie, you know this. We've been trying to get together with these two for a while now, and his vaccinations are actually pretty complicated for us to figure out. But as he gets older, traveling becomes easier, and we're finding that we're able to travel further and for longer periods of time now that he's gotten older. So right now we are normally living in Toronto, and then now we're in Vancouver. So that's like 5 hours away. So this is now the furthest we've gotten from our home base in Toronto.
Oh no, Europe is the furthest.
Oh, yeah,
I think
Europe.
this is like in terms of flights, because we did take a cruise to go to Europe. So the
Yes.
furthest we've been is Spain. Yes. So what I've discovered is that when you are traveling with a child, you see things in a very different perspective. Previously, when we traveled to Barcelona, we were not big fans of Barcelona, and they were not big fans of us, because Barcelona is just so popular with tourists that they're just so tired of tourists, like constantly tourists coming. And we see like graffiti that's like, tourists go home, like, why are you here? And we were doing all the touristy things, and it was not really like, it was not that unexpected. But after we started traveling with Little Matchstick, totally different experience. We loved Barcelona. It was super family friendly. Everyone was very welcoming. Like all of a sudden we had him. He's very outgoing. So he would just run up to random strangers and start playing with their toes in the park. And they're like, oh my God, he's so adorable. And then we start like having a conversation in very broken Spanish, and people were very welcoming because they were very family oriented. And there's playgrounds everywhere. We went to the Sagrada Familia, and there was like 3 playgrounds within 5 minutes walking distance. The subway was very easy to get around with him. And we started to see zoos from a very different light from before, where it's like, why would I ever go to a zoo? That's so boring. But being able to see Little Matchstick, he was actually playing with a bunch of peacocks. That's another thing about Europe. They just have peacocks wandering around their zoos at all times. You're trying to eat your lunch, peacock comes and tries to steal your sandwich. And then the peacock stole my son's crackers, and he was not happy about that. But he made a lot of friends with lots of the animals, and then you just have different experiences, and you see things through your child's eyes, which is very different from before.
It's fantastic.
Marie's curious, is your son actually called Little Matchstick? How did that come about?
No, that is his screen name.
Yeah, because Firecracker, we decided that was going to be his nickname to go with the whole entire theme of fire and like matches and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, like, we wanted to give him the option of whether he wanted to be an internet personality. I mean, we're fame whores, but we can't
speak for him.
We can't make that decision for him.
We don't want our narcissism to rub off on him. He needs to decide whether he wants to be outed online or not.
Yes, exactly.
I love that. Marta asked, do you think about updating your book, Quit Like a Millionaire, or is it still kind of up to date?
I think over time, this was a risk when we wrote it, that the tax stuff kind of goes out of date after a while. But the general, the non-tax specific part of it, like the general concepts of it still are always going to be true. So the core message of it is actually kind of timeless. But yeah, I think we will consider doing like a new edition of it. But we're currently trying to finish off our second book in that series right now. So maybe in a few years.
One thing at once, definitely.
One thing at once, yes. We're supposed to be retired.
The retirement police are coming for you right now.
Oh, yeah.
So I've lost my question. Katie, save me.
I don't have a question either. Finn, what questions do you have?
I'm super curious of how many countries did you visit when you first went traveling, and then how many countries have you visited since Little Matchstick?
Oh, great question.
That's a great question.
The first time, I think 2015 was when we started traveling. I think in the first year we visited 10 to 15 countries. And then eventually we got up to about 45 before the pandemic and shut everything down. And then since we've given birth, let's see, we went to how many countries? We went to US, Mexico, Spain, Morocco, where else?
Portugal, Azores, we went back to Portugal.
Portugal, and then I think, 5, 6 countries?
Yeah,
6 countries, I think.
So still pretty respectable, I think.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, wow.
So you two have been incredible. We're so glad you came on today and hung out with us. And we're super excited about the next book and your message, and seeing you again on Rebel Finance School this year. It'll be fantastic to have you here. And we miss you. We want to hang out more.
We miss you too. And you know what? The 3 of you guys have really kind of latched on to this like you've done this post-fire passion project thing probably harder than anyone we know. I mean, like this is it's a really impressive amount of stuff that you've done since you've become retired, and I'm hoping you've been really enjoying it because we've been really enjoying watching you, and it's really it is quite a different experience working and doing something that you love rather than doing it purely for the paycheck. And I'm wondering, maybe I could turn it around for you guys and ask you guys, how has it felt working on a creative project like this album, like Rebel Finance School, versus what you used to do before?
I think Katie's been saying recently she works harder now than she did when she had a job.
I work harder, I have way more fun, and
You
I
get paid a lot less. The pay is rubbish. Gail, can you up the pay for Katie, please?
I get annoyed when I'm tired because I'm like, there's only so much work you can do a day, and I just wish that I had more energy, but there's only so long I can spend at my laptop before I need to not do that.
Yeah.
But I just wish that, because there's so many creative things that we're excited about, like we're writing our book, we've done the music with Finn, so many blog post ideas, we've got so many graphs to make, and there's only 24 hours in a day, and there's so many ideas that we've got, but we have decades of time to produce this stuff, and we've got people helping us now as well, which is awesome.
Well, I think you get in this cycle of like, oh, there's so much the cool things we can do, which is one of the differences, I think, between us and a lot of the people who retire, is they kind of retire and they sit there and watch television and then they go, is this all there is? And we're like,
that's fun too, for a while.
Yeah. For a while, like watching a TV show at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday can feel like it's slightly naughty, like a schoolboy, and a lot of fun.
Right.
But it's not rewarding. Like after I don't know if you've had this, but you watch 2 or 3 episodes of a show and you start to feel like your life is slipping away.
Yep.
So then we're like, well, what can we do that's productive? Let's write a course. Let's create a thing. Let's do a show with Finn.
Make graphs.
Make graphs. That's the whole key to all of this, is actually having something that you love to do. And if you can find that when you're working, you don't really need to quit because you can make money and it's your job. But many people never find that when they're working. They find jobs they don't like, which they're trying to escape from and do something else. So if you can find something you love to do and get paid for it, that's incredible. Or you just do what we did, which was work to get to financial independence, quit, and then do something you actually love, which feels like it's what you two did as well.
Yeah.
And how has it been like collaborating together? Like that's one of the best things I find after FI, like collaborating with Finn, you get to choose your coworkers. You get to choose who you want to work with on passion projects. How has that collaborative experience been?
Well, I think you feel like you can do more than the sum of your parts together. Like you feel like things are moving faster when you're working with somebody. More new ideas happen that I would have never thought would have happened. So I think that's the beauty of being able to work with, amazing people that you really enjoy working with. But I think, like, getting back to your other question is like, when you have time, something I always think about is often I feel like I'm a 5-year-old child just playing. Like there often is output or something at the end of it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be so. I can just spend a whole day making music, having fun making music. And at the end of it, those songs may never find the light of day today or in 10 years, or I can go running or exercise or do some painting. And it's not about the output, it's about the joy of just passing time. And often we did that when we were 5, just went to the park and there was no goal in the park. The goal was just have fun with your friends. And I think that's definitely given me. And then what happens is great things happen whilst you're doing that, which you didn't expect.
Yeah. Being able to work with other FIRE people is quite different, because when you work with somebody who needs the money, it can often, like, even if you're working on something that is like in the field that you like writing or music, if there really is a financial need for it, it does kind of, you're forced to compromise sometimes on what the form of that is. Like, Finn, you and I were talking about this before you left, that you like, if it wasn't for the fire stuff and if you wanted to work with music, it would make a lot more sense for you to be like DJing weddings or something like that in order to make money, rather than being able to like compose and arrange like music, which is what you're actually passionate about. But the money need would require you to do something like more like adjacent to that is like, like less related. Like for us, we'd probably, if we wanted to do writing in a way that actually makes money, we might have to do other things like technical writing or writing manuals for software products and that kind of stuff. And that's just not nearly as fun as what we get to do now, and what you got to do.
I don't think any manual is going to be called Little Miss Evil, is it?
No. There's very little freedom out there.
No, but a lot of what you're talking about, people in any field start to follow trends and start to modify what they do. And when you talk to some of the greatest film writers or songwriters or album writers, those collections of work were whatever was inside them. And like even Quentin Tarantino or people will be like, well, was this written for anyone? They're like, no, it's just for me. I wrote this thing for me and then, well, people loved it. And so I think with that freedom comes that ability to share exactly what's actually inside and not have it molded by what's going to be popular or trend somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And not needing to make money means you can give it all away for free, which is just incredible. Although we will obviously be very happy if people buy the album because it pushes us up charts. But you can stream it for free on Spotify, Apple Music, and all of those things. One final question from the chat. Marta says, "Do you like Poland a lot?" ? No pressure. I'm Polish. So it feels like kind of one of those questions where there's only one answer you can say.
Not a leading question at all.
Not a leading question at all. Poland was.
But I'm happy to say we actually really do love Poland.
Yeah,
it's one of our favorite places that we visited.
Poland is one of those underrated places that you think.
So don't tell too many people.
You think.
Don't tell too many people.
You think,
I don't want it to be overrated.
When you picture Poland, you kind of just picture kind of like pierogies and potatoes and that kind of thing, right? I mean, like there's not a lot of. But there's not a lot of like hype towards going to Poland. But when we actually went there, we ended up going to Gdańsk, which is this beautiful seaside, like this oceanfront city with like sand dunes for some strange reason as well. And then like Zakopane, which is on the southern end of Poland, the southern bordering.
It's a glacial lake. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it's like this mountain range, the Tatras mountain range, which is bordering Poland and Slovakia. Then there's Krakow. Then there's Warsaw, which has all these like medieval like towns and Propat. And it's just a beautiful country that I was not. It was all surprises, but it was like because I had no expectations going into Poland, and I loved it.
And all because you went there and you'd like blogged about it. I actually took my parents there for a week to Gdansk, and it was absolutely amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history behind Gdansk, right?
A lot of history. Yeah. Actually, Gdansk had one of my favorite museums in the entire world, which is the Solidarność Museum. Love that museum. It's just like from a writer's point of view, they had such a good flow for the storytelling that I have never seen in any other museum.
So it's a museum about the workers' uprising that happened in Poland that eventually led to the downfall of communism in Eastern Europe. So it's kind of like it's like that the first Gdansk likes to say the first bullets fired in World War II were fired in Gdansk, and the first the downfall of communism also started in Gdansk as well, which was really cool because you really just feel like you're in the middle of history.
I love that. Lindsay says, "Have you ever come to the UK?"
We have,
multiple times actually.
We have, and we saw you guys in Basingstoke.
Amazing stuff.
He's on brand. Yes, Bryce.
What did the border agent say to you when you said you were coming to Basingstoke?
They're like nobody goes to Basingstoke.
Why? They started getting very suspicious.
And then we're like, but it's amazing Stoke. And then they're like, oh God, you're one of those people. Just go, get out of here. And then we started telling them how many roundabouts they were in the city. And they're like,
they're just like,
get this guy out of my life. I don't have time for this. So that was Yeah, don't tell the Porter people they're going to basic stock. Otherwise you're going to go and get pulled into secondary. But it was a really lovely city, and you two were the loveliest parts of that city. So that's great.
Thank you for being so polite about amazing Stoke. Christian, Bryce, you are absolute legends. We've loved having you on. It's been incredible. I think we are going to wrap up with one song, which is called Fire Brigade.
Okay.
It's about all of us. It's about the entire gang that are all part of the Financial Independence Brigade. So please enjoy listening to this song about the fire brigade.
Cakes and spreadsheets, planning paths to freedom. Cruelest in the woods, living off the grid. Engineers tracking pennies, mapping out the way. Nomads crossing borders, minimalist, breaking all the rules. FU money takes us far. Unblocked from the matrix, can't go back. Oh, with a fire brigade, living life our way. Oh, with a fire brigade, living life. Freelancers on the beach, band life with sunrise views. DIY masters saving cash, side hustlers ducking dreams. Stock market, real estate, we all have our paths. Focus on the freedom, living life today. Breaking all the rules, FU money takes us far. Unblocked from the matrix, can't go back. Oh, with a fire brigade, living life our way. Oh, with a fire brigade, living life. Investors in the market, entrepreneurs on the rise, creators building futures with fire in their eyes. Oh, with a fire brigade, living life our way. Oh, with a fire brigade, living life. Fire brigade, fire brigade, fire brigade, fire brigade, fire brigade, fire brigade. Oh, 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 with a fire brigade. Oh, 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 with a fire brigade.
So there you go. That is Fire Brigade. Kerry put in the chat, is that Simon again? Yes, it is. And she said it's very Back to the Future, Marty style.
Oh, that's the highest
yeah.
compliment that you could give, Alan. Hey, FU money didn't trigger explicit.
Well, no, because it's not the actual words, Bryce.
Oh, okay, yeah. Fine.
We're just putting letters in, so we can get
that's
away
true.
with that one.
Just counting the alphabet.
Yes, just alphabet. And I think the message from the song is we're all a giant brigade working towards financial independence, and some people are minimalists, some are entrepreneurs, some are property investors.
Some are van lifers.
Yeah, and we're all just in this together, creating the life of our dreams. And that's actually the message we all wanted to end on, is we want to inspire you to go out and live the life of your dreams, whatever that means to you. Maybe Trisha wants to live in a van, maybe Marie wants to live in Poland, maybe Gail's going to grow a pineapple farm, Harriet's going to just, I don't know what Harriet's going to do, but it's all about living the life you actually want to live. And if you can fix your finances, if you can sort out the money, the freedom to be able to live the life you want to live is unbelievable. So nothing would make us happier than you listening to the theme songs, having fun, and building the life of your dreams. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. It has been an incredible journey. Are people able to leave us reviews of the album or that kind of thing?
I think so.
If you find a way to leave a review, please do. We want to know what you think. Bryce is like, these guys are real pros. Even Marie laughed at that one. I love it. So please leave us a review, share the music, play it in a cafe if you work in the cafe, play Quit Like a Millionaire for your boss tomorrow and see if they react. You will absolutely make our day. Thank you for tuning in. So everyone knows we're doing a tour of the UK coming up, so you can meet us in one of the towns all around the place. We'd love to see you there. And Rebel Finance School will be starting on the 2nd of June this year. So Monday, the 2nd of June is the new version of Rebel Finance School. So we really hope to see you at one of the venues around the country. Lindsay has been helping us organise the venues. Thank you, Lindsay, for all the hard work you've done pulling together the venues. Gareth and Naomi will see you in Wales. Harriet, I'm assuming, will see you in London. I hope so. Colin will see you in Northern Ireland. I believe Colin will be translating for us. And we are so excited to be traveling around the world. Christian Bryce, please give Christian Bryce a round of applause for joining us today. Play their song. The explicit version is out now on all famous tracks. We'll play the clean version for your kids. Thank you, everyone. Any final words, Finn?
Thank you for coming on this journey with me as well. It's been an absolute pleasure and joy building the Money Revolution album with you both. Thank you.
Oh, he's lovely. Now go out there and live your life. We love you all. Leave, have fun, go and do amazing things. Math that stuff up. Goodbye. We love you. Goodbye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
If I end YouTube, we can all actually swear. Okay, YouTube's ended, so now we can swear. If the line is math that shit up.
Okay, great.
I got offended there. Harriet's like, I knew